Welcome to Fraudulent Feelings with Fatima podcast, where we dive into real conversations that shape our professional and personal lives. I'm your host, Fatima Nash, and today we're exploring a topic that so many of us wrestle with, yet rarely discuss openly: imposter syndrome. Have you ever felt like you're not good enough, like your success is a result of luck, or that you don't truly deserve your accomplishments? You're not alone. Imposter syndrome impacts high achievers, leaders, professionals at all levels, and even the ones who seem to have it all together. In this episode, we'll break down what imposter syndrome is, how it sneaks into our mindset, and most importantly, how you can push back against it. Together, we'll share insights, stories, and actionable strategies to help you embrace your worth and own your success. So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's get into it. Hello and welcome to Fraudulent Feelings with Fatima. Imposter syndrome, first generation business owner tips. I have my girl Dionne Mack here with me today. Dionne is a fellow coach and consultant. She focuses on an array of services that she offers to her clients, but most of all, what I love about what she does for all of us is cultural competence. So please welcome everyone, Dionne Mack. Dionne, thank you so much for joining us today.
Fatima, thank you for having me. Happy Monday to everyone. Well, I don't know if this is going to air on Monday, but happy whatever day it is that you're seeing this.
I love it.
If it's Friday, happy Friday. Yeah.
Indeed. So Dionne, thank you so much again for being here. I'd love to jump in. Why don't you take a moment to introduce yourself and, of course, tell us a little bit about your thoughts around fraud feelings.
Yes, and I actually have a question for you on that.
Okay.
But a little bit about myself. Dionne Mack. I'm a leadership coach and consultant. Like you said, I focus on helping organizations with cultural competence, building bridges, leadership development. I am a native New Yorker who is now outside of Atlanta, the one place I said I would never live. And here I am, and I love it, and it's great. And I'm just super, super happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
So
yes.
My thoughts around fraudulent feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very curious to hear from you.
Mm-hmm.
What made you come up with that term fraudulent feelings when you think about imposter syndrome? And I'm with you on it 100%. I think it's genius. But my idea of imposter syndrome, while on one hand I want to say, yeah, I struggle with it, at the same time, I don't know that I believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because I think that what it is it's our internal fear, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is our fear, mostly of the unknown, stepping into spaces maybe that we have not been before, and we don't know what's coming. And so this feeling of self-doubt comes out, and it makes us feel like, oh my gosh, what if they find out that I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, or I'm not really supposed to be here? But it's really not an indication of our competence or lack thereof. It's just, especially for entrepreneurs, and I want to say this because I know that that's your target audience, you're forging new paths. You're going into places you haven't been before. And so, yeah, there's this thought in the back of your mind, like, well, wait a minute, stranger danger, I'm going into places I haven't been. But that's to help you say, okay, be cautious. It's not meant to stop you. I feel like these feelings come up. They're not our truth. They're just our, and I don't even want to say insecurities. It's just fear of the unknown. And I believe it shows up not when we're failing, but actually when we're on that precipice of winning. It's a sign of growth. So we just have to lean into it.
Yes.
So I'm curious to hear though from you.
Yes.
That term from, because it's so on point.
Thank you. So I believe 100% that the little voice in my head when I'm at the fork in the road of climbing up, or rising to the occasion, or hitting another milestone, I hear the voice saying, you're not going to be good enough, or you don't know what you're doing, or you missed this particular step. And as I've gotten more, I've healed some more. The 40s have helped me greatly do that. I have to had to think about, Dionne, whoa, those feelings, that's bullshit. They're fake. They're fake ass feelings. So I really want the show to be called Fake Ass Feelings with Fatima. And so I decided that maybe fraudulent was a little bit more poised and fake ass,
More
but
palatable.
right, or more palatable, right, for all audiences. But in all seriousness, that me executing on those feelings of inadequacy and not plunging forward in whatever realm that was, whether it's at home, whether it's in the office, volunteering or whatever, what have you, that means that I was living a fraud. If I did not execute my best, that means that I'm a fraud, because I know damn well that I'm better than what that negative voice is in my head. And so it is kind of a double meaning for me. Is that if you do not execute on your greatness, you're living a lie and you're wasting your time. And that I've really applied that to every facet of my life. And that is why this show is called Fraudulent Feelings with Fatima.
I love it. Those fake ass feelings. And that's exactly what they are. They are not your truth. You've been given an idea, you've been given a product, a service, whatever it is that makes you uniquely you. You are meant to put that out into the world. So the doubt and stuff,
100%.
that's not real. That's not your truth. Those ideas, those innovations, that's your truth. Lean into it.
100%. So talk to me, like, you have had a healthy career. You've been very successful. And you recognize that sometimes the voices in your head, it's a little bit, BS. Talk to us. How Give us some examples of how you've had to overcome that, maybe early in your career up until this point.
So, so I've had my own business since 2019. I have been 100% focused on the business, or actually, what I should say, I've been 100% living in the business. I don't know that I would say that I was focused on it the way that I should be. Fake ass feelings coming up, right? But I've been living in the business 100% for the past 18 months, going on 2 years. And I think what I think my biggest learning in this space over these past 18 months, because I wake up some days, Fatima, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm really doing this. Well, yeah, Dionne, you've been doing it. You've been doing it. You've been doing just this for 18 months, but you've been doing this for 5 years. And even when you were in your corporate roles, what you're doing, you've been doing, and you've been doing it well. But I wake up some days like, oh my gosh, and how am I going to pay the mortgage? Always paid, Dionne, stop worrying. But I started having conversations with others, other coaches, other consultants, just tapping into like my network of people that some I haven't even spoken to in years, and realized, like, just in general conversation, I might say some of what I'm saying to you. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you said that. I feel the same way. And so realizing, one, that I'm not alone, and the feelings that I'm having, they're normal. And I reached out, I'll tell you, I reached out to a former colleague, consultant, that when I was working at a Fortune 100 company about 15, 16, 17 years ago or so, she was a consultant that we brought in to do some work. And I just kind of kept her in my Rolodex. Every once in a while, we might text each other. But something just said, Dionne, reach out to her just to connect and say hi and see how things are going. She's had her own business for 15 years. It is going successfully, all that. And I'm talking with her, and she expressed that she has the same feelings. And I'm like, wait a minute, but your business, you've gotten past the 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, 15-year mark. You're making, good money and successful, and you have your products, and you're working in these big industries. And she's like, yeah, and I still have the same fraudulent feelings every couple of, days or weeks or months as well. That's just part of the growth. So I think the biggest thing that is getting me through is recognizing that I am not alone in this, and then asking myself, Dionne, are you willing to grow? Are you willing to stretch? And it's not always going to feel good. But when I remembered my why, like, why am I doing this? I remember, so I started the business in 2019. I got my coaching certification in 2020, right around the George Floyd murder timeframe and COVID timeframe. And I was looking through old notebooks, and in part of the work for the coaching program, we had to write out, and I don't remember exactly how we did it, but they asked us like these 5 different questions, and each answer to the question was a word. Like, what do you want to do with your life? What is your what is the one thing you want out of life? And like a couple of other things. And once you took those answers, you put them together and it made like a life purpose statement. And the thing that I said I wanted more than anything, or that I would value, is freedom. And I looked at that maybe 2 weeks ago and I was like, Dionne, you have that. And while you're sitting here on one hand saying, oh my gosh, should I go get a job? Oh my gosh, is my business going to succeed? Oh my gosh, is this the right thing? You said to yourself, to your peers, to the universe, the creator, whatever it is that you believe in, you wanted freedom. And you get up and you make your schedule, you walk your dog, you plant your plants, and you do the work that you love, and you see that you're having impact with the people that you work with. You have what you asked for. How awesome is that? And so I had to remember my why. That's what keeps me going.
Yeah, I love that.
But
I know that you did answer the question. I love that so much because we often move 1,000 miles an hour and we don't go back and kind of check our list or check our goal sheet or check our journal to say, hey, did I do what I said I was going to do? And it's really, really important, especially in this day and time of entrepreneurship, that you go back and look at your plans and confirm. Create your key performance indicators, right? Your KPIs in corporate America, it's called, right? That says that you said you would do XYZ by XYZ date, because you will probably exceed that, but you won't even realize it because you're moving so fast. By documenting it, you go back and you can check and confirm, and it gives you a little bit of a pep when you're feeling fake ass feeling, like when you're having those fraudulent feelings of, oh, I won't be able to do this. I've got to do this for my husband. I've got to do this for the kids. I got to travel here. I got to do this. I'm not going to be able to accept this new project. I'm not going to be able to show up the way I need to show up. Go back and look at what you plan to do. Write it down. Keep a journal. Even, I do voice memos to myself all the time. That helps me. Right. There you go.
I journal every day. I look at my goals every single day. My KPI, the way we went about this in corporate is the same way I realized I need to go about it for my work.
Absolutely.
Every day, what are my 90-day goals? I'm writing down, okay, so where am I with them? Do I need to recalibrate? What does this look like?
Yes.
What did I say I was going to do yesterday that I didn't get to do? I'm putting it over to today. What am I type? Like, every day I have to be on it. Otherwise, you get caught up in all the other things. And to your point, you lose sight of, okay, can I do this? What have I accomplished? Oh my gosh, I can look back and say, last week was awesome. I feel like I didn't do anything, but checked off 10 of the things that I said I was going to do. Win.
Right. Absolutely. Oh my God. I love that. I love like an internal win. Like I love to dance to myself. Talk to me about 15 years you were having a full-time role and doing some entrepreneur stuff on the side. Talk to me a little bit about how that felt versus now you're fully an entrepreneur doing everything that you wanted to do, #freedom.
Yeah. So what I have realized now is that a big part of my identity was tied up in not so much the work that I was doing, but the roles that I was in, right? The company that I worked for, the title that I had. And I knew my why then. Like, I've always known, like, the work that I'm doing, particularly as it relates to diversity, inclusion, cultural competence, building, cultivating leaders and cultures where people can thrive, goes to my purpose as a person. I believe that we exist only to be connected, right? I believe in connection. I believe in authenticity. I believe in belonging, that we're only here to be our full authentic selves and make this world a better place.
Yes.
And I also believe that we're all meant to win together. And I've known that, and that is what has driven me throughout my career. But, particularly, so, you said you're in your fabulous 40s. I'm in my fearless 50s now and realize that, you know, in my 30s and 40s, it was about getting the title. You know, I want to be chief this or head of this and make a certain amount. And don't get me wrong, money is a tool and it's important to be able to facilitate the life that I want to live. Even though the life that I want to live is a pretty simple one, money is still important, but it's not what drives me. I am driven by the connections and the impact and helping people to whatever space they're occupying, whether it's in a business, whether it's in their own business, they feel a sense of belonging. And I kind of had to just say to myself, Dionne, it's all about service and it's all about growth. And in doing that, that's what's helped me to transition from being in that corporate role and moving into the business. I'm still aligned with my why. Now I get to choose who, well, I guess I've always had the opportunity to choose, because you select a job the same way they select you. I don't know if you always realize that.
Yep.
But I guess I just have a different mindset about it now than what I had before. And that, I feel, is what's sustaining me. The work hasn't changed. The quality of the work hasn't changed. There was a false sense of security when I was in my corporate roles, right? You feel like, oh, I have this job. The paycheck is going to come every 2 weeks. You know I can plan for this trip and I can plan to get the new roof on the house or, you know, whatever else. And you feel secure. But I remember I was working in a consulting firm. This was just as COVID was in its throes and things were beginning to shut down. We had a team meeting on April 28th where we were told, wait, today is April 28th. Things are so defined. We had a team meeting on April 28th of 2020. And we're told that because of COVID, all non-attorneys were going to be furloughed for 90 days, effective May 1st. 2 days. And that's when I realized security is, it's fraudulent feelings, okay? Because you think that it's there, and I literally found that in 48 hours, I would be getting my last paycheck for the next 90 days. Okay, you have benefits, but benefits are not going to pay my mortgage. Oh, by the way, you know that I'm literally scheduled to close on my house in 4 weeks. You know that. And okay, it's not personal, it's business, it's COVID, it was whatever. But that really grounded me in understanding, Dionne, security comes from within. It does not come from without. What you think is there cannot be there immediately. And so all you have is what's been given to you in here and here, and knowing how to make that. So be true to yourself, authenticity, be true to your why. And when you're aligned in that way, everything else falls into place the way that it's supposed to. Not to say that don't do the work, but when you're in, just do the work that's in alignment with who you are. Everything else will come.
How did you determine your why back in your 30s? What was your process?
I've always kind of, I'm that person who has to have a plan, right? From the time I was little, my parents met each other in college. My mother went to Claflin University in South Carolina, HBCU. My dad went to South Carolina State. They were two colleges who literally are next door to each other. So I always grew up saying, I know I'm going to go to state and I'm going to be a lawyer, and I'm going to live in South Carolina and I'm going to do what my family did. And I just had this plan. And then one day I'm sitting there watching TV in my grandmother's room, and a commercial for Pace University comes on. I had never seen it before. Interestingly enough, I've never seen it again. But something in my head said, yeah, you're going to go there and you're going to major in finance. I applied to one college. I don't know why. It's just, I've always been that person. I have to have a plan, but I go with my gut. Getting into the work that I do. So I was in college. I got very sick all of a sudden, had to have emergency brain surgery. That changed everything for me. And I started working in a bank as a bank teller. And my cousin reaches out to me one day, and I know it seems like I'm off topic, but I promise you, I'm gonna reel it in. So my cousin reaches out to me. She's like, Dionne, listen, you're good at tests and stuff, and you started college. I know you got sick and you're working, but you're still kind of working on your plan. Everything works out for you. I don't know what I want to do with my life, so I think I'm going to take a civil service test. But I suck at tests, so can you go with me just to be support? I'm like, yeah, all right, fine. It's $15. I'll go take this civil service test. I didn't even know what it was for, Fatima, but I knew it was on a Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, 30 minutes out east on Long Island. The day comes to take the test. I get there. It's pouring, raining. She doesn't show up, but I take the test and find out that it's for this role called a community service worker. I don't even know what that is, but I just took the test because I was supposed to be there for her. They called me about a month later. I was like, you scored super, super high. We'd love to interview you to come in for a role as a community service worker, housing homeless people, homeless families and homeless individuals for the Department of Social Services. So, right, that's great. Because remember, I just had brain surgery. So to me, everything is about, I need to have amazing benefits. I'm 20 years old. So I'm focused on benefits because my health, like literally a year before that, the head of neurosurgery at Sloan Kettering is like, if you make it through this surgery, substantial possibility you're going to be a vegetable or paralyzed on one side of your body. I am not. I am here. That was when I was 20. I am now 53. So things worked out well, but that changed my focus, right? I'm like, I have to have good benefits because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen. The whole thing around security, right? So civil service is working for the county. This is going to be great. I take that. I'm working in that role for about a year and a half, 2 years, taking classes at night. And I'm like, well, I want to make some more money while I'm doing this. And I couldn't, it was too much doing the work and trying to take classes. So I kept dropping classes. So, well, the way to make more money is to take another civil service test and move up, right? So I had about 60 credits at the time. There was another test that came up, human rights investigator. I had no idea what it was, but I had enough credits. Right? So I said, I'm going to take it. I took the exam. They called me 2 months later. You scored super duper high. We'd love to interview you. The role is to investigate discrimination complaints. I was like, well, my dad was a Black Panther. I'm absolutely all into race relations and stuff like that. So yes, this is it. And that's what got me. So I started investigating discrimination complaints, mostly in employment, but also housing, credit, public accommodations. Started partnering with, in that role, the Human Rights Commission out in Suffolk County partnered with the local university, Stony Brook, to do a diversity conference every year. I was the youngest person on the team. They were like, well, here, Dionne, you go and help. You can be the person that represents the commission on this diversity this diversity conference. So I started partnering with the university for their diversity conference, got to meet Angela Davis, Cornell West, Tim Wise, when he first came out, MLK the third, and it was amazing, absolutely amazing. And they called me a year later and was like, we loved working with you. You were just so, great to work with. And we have an opening on our team. Would you like to come and work here in the Office of Diversity and Affirmative Action? And that was the beginning of my career in this space. And I've been in it ever since. So I say all that to say, well, I always had to have a plan. My gut just was, my intuition, my inner calling just always led me to the things that were meant for me.
It's an amazing story. My goodness. You manifested that. Like your body said that you needed an adjustment. And so you got one. And I'm so grateful that you're healthy and well. Many years later, congratulations on good health. But your why sounds like it was predetermined and you manifested the journey to get you there. So how could you have fraud feelings through all of that?
Because how can you not doubt? It's like, wait a minute, you're going to go apply to this one school, but you've always known for the past 18 years that you wanted to do this. And now you're doing something crazy and different, and you don't even know why. Like you haven't researched this school. You'd have never said you wanted to go into finance. Okay, but you do it. Oh, you want to go take this test? Your cousin didn't even show up. And it was pouring rain. I should have gotten back in the car and just drove home 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning. But what did I do? I just went in. That's why I say know your why, even if you don't fully know what the why is, but you just know this feels right,
Right.
or
Yes.
it feels good, not good, pleasurable, good. Um, and it's not even easy, but it just feels aligned. Like,
Aligned. I
yeah,
think that's the
aligned.
right word. Yeah, aligned. Like you feel centered. You feel like I'm still nervous about this, but I know in my gut that this is the right path. Like I can feel it. I know I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been plenty of times where I felt it in my gut and my anxiety or someone else maybe influenced my heart. And then, I made the wrong decision. And most times that's what happens. And to me, that's when the fraud feelings really come up. I've been kind of practicing this with myself. I'm on a huge healing journey. And what I've learned through this journey is that my anxiety or my fake ass feelings show up when I'm telling my body to do something opposite of what it's intending to do. So if I'm walking into a room
Mm-hmm.
and no one knows me, I'm not the type of person to walk in the room quietly. Hello, nice to meet you. Hello, nice to meet you. I'm walking in the room. Good morning, everyone. And when I don't do that, I am not as calm, cool, and collective on the hi, how you doing? Hi, how you doing? Because that's not really who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so I realize I get sick to my stomach when I'm not executing my why, when I'm not executing who I am. My why is to inspire. That means the moment you greet me, whether it's just a eye contact or an actual physical encounter, I am led to. I am invited to. It's a full force around
Mm-hmm.
my whole body telling me that I have to inspire that moment, that second. It is an experience. And I've fought it all of my life. And when you're younger in your 20s, you don't know why things are pulling you. You have this tug and it's very strong, and you're like, this force, F that. No, I'm going to the club. I don't want to be studying this. I don't want to be doing that. And that also has led to fraud feelings because I go down a fake ass path that I'm not supposed to go on. And then I'm upset that I'm on this fake ass path. Um, so when we think
You know what?
about, no, go ahead.
Even with that, Fatima, because I heard you and you said, when I've made wrong decisions or I've taken this path which doesn't feel like it was the right path for me, I believe that there are no mistakes,
Mm,
right? So even when your body is telling you go right and you decide to go left, there's a learning, there's a growth,
true.
you came out of that and you're like, okay, I wasn't supposed
It's
to do
true.
that. Well, now I don't know that you weren't supposed to do that. It probably would have been easier for you had you listened to your body. But now that you didn't and you've gone through it, you've come out on the other side, and now listen to your first mind, where you didn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily know that before. So that
Mm-hmm.
detour,
Mm-hmm.
even that was intended.
No, I mean, I believe you're right. I have no reason not to because every single decision I've made, while it didn't get me sometimes directly to my goal, it got me there in a way that was even better, a better experience, more fruitful, more growth. So you're exactly right. Um, so when you think about those of our friends that are in corporate America, that they dread their day, they're sitting in meetings around people they'd rather not sit in meetings around. And they
Mm.
have all of this side hustle about them. Let's talk about what tips we can give them to those women are in corporate America that don't think they can do this on their own.
Mm. First thing I would say is don't wait until you feel like you're 100% ready or everything is perfect. Because when you wait and push off starting, you're going to miss out on opportunities. Um, I didn't have everything fleshed out. I still don't have everything fleshed out. I'm going to be fully transparent with you. I've had this business since 2019. I've been on my own fully 100% for 18 months, and I still don't have my website up. I've been working with a branding consultant since 2021 and refused to hit the button to say publish it because I'm like, well, I don't know if this language is perfect. Oh, I'm evolving this thing. No, I'm so grateful to say all of the work that I've gotten up until this point, and the mortgage is paid every month, so yay for that. But it's been by word of mouth and referrals, and that's awesome. But I know I do need to have the website up, but I haven't let that, I almost let that stop me. Don't let not having everything perfect, your messaging perfect, your brand perfect, your website perfect. Don't let that stop you, because opportunities that are meant for you are going to come. And you don't want to miss out on those. As long as you know your why and you know your strengths. I remember there was a woman who had reached out, it was through a referral, and she said, Dionne, I'm looking for a consultant to help me with building out my leadership competency model. She was hired in her company as a team of one, and they had nothing from a talent management perspective in place, particularly for leaders. And on one hand, a part of me was like, well, Dionne, you've never owned talent in your corporate career. You've partnered with it. You have partnered to co-create a leadership development competency model, but you haven't done it all by yourself before. So maybe you should refer her to someone else. Then I was like, no. You need to get your reach, and she's reaching out to you, and you've done it before. You just haven't done it by yourself. But guess what? You're going to be partnering with her. You're still not doing it by yourself. Say yes and grow through the process. And they have been a client for 4 years.
Whoa.
We were continuing iterating, doing more work.
Congratulations.
So don't wait until you're ready. That would be my number one. My number two would be build bridges, not side. And actually, let me go back to the first one as far as not being ready. So I think this is important. I was laying in bed scrolling this morning, and I was thinking about our conversation and what my top threes were going to be. And I was thinking, I want to tell them, don't wait until things are perfect, because you look at everyone else's journey. And you'll say, but they're doing this, or they have this website and they have that. And so I don't look like that yet. But comparison is the thief of joy. And a leader of mine told me that years ago, and it really, really clicked. And then this morning I'm scrolling and I see a carousel of quotes. And this one says, stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. And I was like, that's it. Because as entrepreneurs, we're looking at someone else. I look at the person I told you I reached out to and was like, I know she has it all together. Her business has been there for 15 years. I'm thinking everything is awesome. And then I talked to her and she's like, girl, every day I'm waking up like, oh, is this really happening? Am I really doing this? And you don't know what's going on behind that thing. So
that's right.
Don't wait until you're ready, and don't compare. Comparison is a thief of joy. You're comparing your chapter 1 and it's their chapter 20. It's not supposed to be the same.
I love that.
My 2 would be build bridges and not silos. We often think that others who are doing what we do are our competitors, but there's enough space for everyone, and you can go further when you do it together, right? So build bridges, reach out, make those connections. You never know. Connect with your peers who do what you do and those who do things that are adjacent to you, because you never know when your two minds come together, what might come out of that. So I told you, I reached out to that colleague who has had her business for 15 years. We just started talking, and it was like, oh, well, that aligns with what I'm doing. And so she started showing me some of her stuff. We just came back from an amazing weekend in Charleston. Me, her, and another one of her colleagues. We're starting a little collective collaboration together, right? So you just never know where things are going to go. Don't see others as competitors. There's space for all of us.
Absolutely.
It's not just about like what you build, but it's also who you build it with. So lean into those connections. And then the third thing I would say is, well, it's important to invest in your business and the business side of things. Also invest in you, your growth, getting to know you, your why, your internal joy, the things that inner knowing that comes with spending time with yourself, not just focusing on your business. And I feel like that's what's going to ground you, so that when your business and when you begin to soar, that inner knowing, that grounding is what's going to keep you grounded.
Grounded. I love it. Yeah, absolutely. 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 Oh my gosh. Where can people find you, Dionne?
Not on my website. Yeah. That's terrible. It's in the works, though. It actually is in the
Okay.
works. You will be able to find me on DionneLMack.com. Give me about a month. But you can find me on LinkedIn.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. And what do you want to take our listeners home with?
Know your why.
Know your why.
Know your why, because I believe that awareness and alignment is the foundation to everything else. When you think about business, right? Even in the corporate space of, oh, we have to be aligned to the business strategy. Well, when you're an entrepreneur, your business strategy is your who and your why.
That's
So
right.
having awareness of that, aligning with that, and move forward. Don't let those fraudulent feelings stop you. That's just letting you know you are on the precipice of success. You are about to win. You
Absolutely.
are winning. Because
Absolutely.
what got you here means you've been successful. You have this idea, you have this innovation, you have this service. So lean into that, put those feelings in your pocket and keep it moving.
Absolutely. Oh my God, I love that so much. Thank you, Dionne Mack, for joining us today on Fraudulent Feelings with Fatima. This episode really focusing on entrepreneurs and releasing those fake ass feelings so that we can all be successful. Thank you all for tuning in. Until next time.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Come back. We would love to have you again. Talk soon.
Love
Bye
it.
bye.